awesome. Look at that.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That is cool as shit. I thought the whole thing was CG. Welcome back, everyone, to another reaction. This time we are doing a trailer react to the new Lord of the Rings series on Amazon Prime is producing this. And it's supposed to be a title announcement, but they've, put the title in the title of the video, so I guess we already know the title, The Rings of Power. I love the Lord of the Rings, the movies. I mean, who didn't really? Saw them in theaters when they came out with my buddy Mike here. Mike, I believe you read the books. How you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm good. I didn't remember that we had seen those together.
The reason I recall, I know we saw at least the first one together, if not all of them, is because I'm sure you asked me whether I read the books or something or whatever, but during the movie, spoiler warning for everybody here who hasn't seen the movies or read the books, when the way they divided up the movies, I don't know if it exactly correlates with the books or whatever, but in the first one, they allude to Gandalf dying, going down into the pit, fighting the thing. And, in the movie, I reacted, it's like, no, you can't fucking kill Gandalf. And I remember looking at you, looking at me, and I'm like, having that look, yeah, he hasn't read the book. Right, so it was good. Awesome movies. I mean, the highest production value ever of like anything. It's so amazing. And apparently high budget. It's going to be really good. I hear a lot of practical effects, not just all CG everywhere. So I don't know. I don't really have anything to add.
As far as I didn't know anything about this, I knew that there was a Lord of the Rings show in development. I didn't know if they were going to retell Frodo's story or what. This seems like it might be the first age.
Okay.
When the Rings of Power were created.
Okay.
And it's been many years since I read the Silmarillion, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. But Sauron deceived an elven king or prince, I think, Fëanor, and they were great craftsmen. And somehow he deceived, can't remember the details, deceived him into helping him create the One Ring of Power and the other rings.
Okay.
And they didn't realize, they knew that he was putting his power into the One Ring, but they didn't realize that he was enslaving the other rings to his will.
The main one, basically.
Right.
If this is about the first age, or it's divided into ages, right? 3 ages. If this is a different story, a different age, that would be great. I mean, that would seem to be the thing to do because that hasn't been done yet. So
you could still have Elrond and Galadriel in it, and you could have Isildur, who's Aragorn's ancestor, who is actually Elrond's brother or nephew.
Okay. Because
Elrond's parents were one human and one elf, and his brother chose humanity and started the line of descendants that Aragorn is descended from.
Okay.
So technically, he's Arwen's cousin, but
keeping the family, right?
many other generations removed.
Right.
I really want to reread the Silmarillion, and I'm sure that this will spur that. I will do that.
And what is the Silmarillion in context to?
It starts as the creation story. Essentially reads like Genesis because it's the creation story of his whole mythos, from basically God sings the world into existence. I'm going to say something wrong, so I'll just stop trying to remember stuff.
Yeah, I won't force you.
It's been a long time.
Let's just get into it. Let's watch this whole 60-second trailer here. 3, 2, 1, go. Ooh. All right.
Forge.
3 rings for the elven kings under the sky. 7 for the dwarf lords in their halls of stone.
I wonder who's talking.
9 for mortal men doomed to die. 1 for the Dark Lord on his dark throne in the land of Mordor.
Mordor.
Where the
Can't roll my R's.
shadows lie.
Oh yeah. Okay. Nice. Was it just they're pouring the title there? That's great. It looks great. I mean, there's not much there, but looks great.
It's telling us a lot about what this is going to be about, though, I think.
Right.
For example, the 9 rings for mortal men, those go to the men who eventually become the Nazgul, the Black Riders.
Oh, those Black Riders, yeah, ghostly things.
They're like kings.
Yeah.
The Witch King was like a sadistic warlord.
They're like corrupted by the power, right?
Well, I think they were already mostly already were evil.
Okay.
Or at least the Witch King was. And then, yes, they're slowly turned into wraiths by that. So this could be, I mean, they could do everything from telling the original story of how the rings were made and Sauron accumulated power. And then they could show how each ring corrupts the person or dwarf or elf that has it.
There's a lot of material
cool.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was almost, if not an exact line, but the beginning of the Lord of the Rings movies when they're explaining, just in a few sentences, that could have been taken out of the books, maybe even.
So he's essentially like makes these magic rings. Look, these amazing magic rings. Everybody can have this abundance and plenty, and you have this wonderful magic ring. But what they don't know is that he's making the master ring to control them all.
To control them
and
all.
sap all their power. They think he's benevolent.
Okay.
He's like he's beautiful and like, you know, he's not dark and scary like in the movies. He's
right. And one master evil corrupted plan. We noticed there's a kind of the making of a behind the scenes for this intro. Might allude to some of the production qualities of it or whatever. So yeah, we're going to check out this 40-second behind the scenes. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, that was not CG. They're like, they made these awesome. Look at that.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That is cool as shit. I thought that whole thing was CG. That is awesome. Look at that. Dude.
So now they have their title for every episode. Really?
Yep, exactly. Look at that. Wow. They actually poured those. And it's like real water and steam and everything. Wow, I'm impressed. I'm glad we watched that. That's cool. That's alluding to like we spared no expense, as the guy says in Jurassic Park. You know, they're like physically made these props and stuff. I mean, I'm assuming they got Weta workshopped, you know. I mean, that would,
if they want the aesthetic to be similar.
Yeah. I mean,
which it looks like it probably is.
Yeah, I mean, they would
based
have
on
a lot of that props and stuff, the physical props. Like, that makes me more excited for the show. I don't know.
Oh, sure. Well, you see that level of detail. Yeah, that's probably why they released that.
Hey, y'all, read your descriptions in the YouTube videos. I didn't notice until just now in the title announcement. It does say a new age begins September 2nd of 22. So there we go. Side Marvel note, my film school buddy Chris basically stopped. He loves Marvel, but he basically stopped after Endgame and hasn't seen any of Phase 4 at all. So he's agreed to start up, WandaVision and all the TV shows and everything. So, and do reacts to them. So it looks like this year will be the same as last year. I'll just be doing the reacts with somebody else. I'm stoked for this. I don't really have, sorry audience, I don't have much to add other than I'm just a fan of the movies, but I haven't read the books. I don't really have anything to pull from other than just kind of being generally excited.
Like I said, I do want to read the Silmarillion again, but I was thinking about trying to find like a Cliff Notes version or something just to refresh, even before I reread it for real, just to refresh the overall storylines, because sometimes with sometimes you just you read something twice and it's you absorb it differently,
Right. It makes sense.
Or you don't catch details or.
Well, you mentioned something I'm going to share. I can cut this out if you really don't like me doing this. But Mike texted me a little while ago saying, hey, I was trying to find a video to sort the summarizing of the main books of Silmarillion, like an overview of the Middle Earth history, but couldn't find one. So I guess I'll have to make one. So let's do a public display, public commitment here. Come on, Mike, you got to do it.
Well, I'll have to reread some stuff and brush up on a lot for sure.
I've always said, Mike, anything you want to write, I will produce it. All you got to do is show me that script.
Where it really gets crazy is that you have all these other writings that he did, just notes of world building that he did, because he wrote all this over 20 or 30 years.
Right.
So you have the unfinished tales, and you have all these other things that are, I guess, and then he would change his mind about things. So there's no I guess there is a canon version in the sense that there's the versions of things released. That he was, right. But anything, I mean, he didn't even publish a volume called The Silmarillion. He had just written those stories. So he might have changed some of them if he had completed that. I think his son completed it after.
I was going to say, he died and didn't have everything completed. So
they've published all those unfinished tales and all that the same way, but it's just unfinished. So it just is what it is.
Right.
But it's very, very detailed, and there's lots of connections throughout the history of how humans and elves and dwarves populate Middle Earth. And
sure. Okay.
And then what we're getting in Lord of the Rings, we're seeing the end of the Third Age. The Fourth Age is the Age of Men, which is the age we're in now.
Like us living, we're in the Age of Men. Okay.
Right. And throughout.
So you wrote it as trying to be an actual history in a way.
So Lord of the Rings was written by Frodo. The Hobbit was written by Bilbo.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I think there's also something to be said for, even though he was Catholic and he's definitely believed in the creation and all that, it's you don't want to do that. It's not a direct analog or whatever.
Okay.
Analogy. The other thing, I think, so the creator is Eru Iluvatar, like the one, the bringer of light. Let there be light. He begins to create, I think, starting with the Valar. It's a tale. It's a song. It's an epic, like Gilgamesh or the Odyssey or Lord of the Rings. Even though we don't think of that as a song or poetry, but it's prose. But it's an epic in the sense that before there was even writing, there was songs were used to convey stories and folklore. So in mythology.
Mm-hmm.
So the creator is singing creation into existence the same way that Tolkien was creating Middle Earth with his pen, a song,
Okay.
So in some ways he's the creator, he created Middle Earth. So he's writing about himself.
Yeah, there's
something I was thinking about.
That's awesome.
So we won't get into Tom Bombadil or anything else right now. We'll save it.
We'll save some for later. We'll say something past the title reveal. Plenty more to come. Well, Mike, I appreciate it. Unless there's anything specific you want to add, we'll give a wrap to this.
No, I'm really excited. This actually, I mean, there's nothing to
there, but
be excited about yet, except that this is
quick question.
Content that I've loved since I was a kid. So.
Right. I realize it could be anybody, but any guesses on who we're hearing doing the narration in that? It's a female. I mean,
it could be Galadriel or anyone. I mean,
it's way too not specific enough yet to figure that out. Right. Don't know enough details. So that's cool. Well, I believe if you were brushed up, you could give even Stephen Colbert a run for his money on Lord of the Rings lore. So I appreciate you joining me, Mike. Hey, you all know the drill. Like, subscribe, comment down below. There's Patreon if you want to help support, all that good stuff. We're definitely going to be doing a react to this series and more coming in the future. And until then, we will catch you on the next one. Peace.